Kia ora everyone. Good evening. Thanks a lot for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the film. My name is David Klein. I'm one of the visitor services hosts here at Taonga. I helped create some of the programs for the Bicycle Film Festival. And over summer, I found myself cycling around the country presenting a science storytelling show for a few months to a whole bunch of communities. So I'm kind of all talked out. But luckily, we have a really great panel tonight to discuss the question, can bicycles really help transform environments, cities, and lives? And so I'll just introduce our crew quickly. Closest to me, we've got Dr. Caroline Shaw. She is a public health medicine specialist at the University of Otago in Wellington. Her work looks at co-benefits between transportation policies, health, and climate change. And she was one of the lead authors of a very fascinating and important benchmark study in 2015, benchmarking cycling and walking in 6 New Zealand cities. Wow. We've got Laurie Foon, founder of Starfish Clothing, a sustainability icon, and as I've read, a participant and observer in many cool Wellington stories. She's continuing on her road of sustainability with the Sustainable Business Network as the coordinator for Wellington. We have Ashley Petty. Ashley's originally from Arizona, but she's now carving it up on the trails around Wellington and inspiring young people to do the same. She is the founder of WORD, the Wellington Off-Road Riding Department. Off-road riding department. Which helps to build confidence in young people, develop friendships, and gain a lifelong love of mountain biking. And finally, Paul McArdle. In another life, Paul was a corporate banker who spent some time in Europe. Coming back to New Zealand, he founded Bike On and developed the Biking Skills program, which aims to give children access to bicycles, helmets, and tracks for their skills to gain the skills they need to be confident cyclists. Please have a round of applause. So just a quick, easy one-word question for each of us. Cycling, yay or nay?
Yay. Yay. Yeah.
And audience? That's great. I just wanted to start off maybe with your study, Caroline, just to kind of give us a sense of where we are in terms of New Zealand cities and how they are with active transport, in particular cycling.
I think room for improvement would probably be the key message. So we looked at the 6 largest cities in New Zealand, not the small ones at all. And Christchurch is obviously the city which has the highest cycling rates, followed by Wellington and Dunedin. But they're pretty low baselines, both when you look at people who commute to work and also people who cycle for transport generally. We talked about it as a baseline study with the hope that we'll repeat it in the future and see slightly better results.
Is there a time frame on when you might have another look?
When we have enough energy? I think I'll probably think about looking at it in about a year or so. There's not much point in doing it before then because the survey data that we use have quite small sample sizes, so we have to wait for a number of years to pass before we can get enough kind of people to look at the different cities.
Sure. Laurie, thinking about cities again, and you're part of the Sustainable Business Network. Have you seen cycling coming into that? I know that you tried to develop driving community.
Yes.
Within the network.
So the Sustainable Business Network has got 4 areas that it works within, and so obviously smart transport is one of those, and within that we're very much promoting the uptake of electric vehicles in businesses, and also we have a Bike Now project, and so that's also about encouraging businesses or employers to see the benefits of encouraging their employees to cycle. And so the way that we're doing that, it's still very early days, but it's really about, I guess one of our key things are telling stories, so showcasing businesses that are doing good business. So business on bikes is one of my favourite phrases, but also promoting the Aotearoa Bike Challenge. So almost normalising that and really ramping up the campaign as best as we could within workplaces, but also working in partnership with NZTA on facilities. So how can an employer put in good facilities to enable employees to cycle?
So I like that idea of telling stories. Paul, is that a part of what you do with bikes in schools?
Tell stories,
Engaging with children.
Yeah, I mean, Bikes in Schools is all about providing children access and opportunity. There's no lack of demand from children for the opportunity to ride a bike. So basically what Bikes in Schools does is a bike track and some bikes and some helmets. And it just gives those children that regular access and opportunity. And then from that, there is many, many stories that come to that about how that ability to ride on a regular basis, but also on an equal basis within the school, produces a lot of outcomes on a whole range of things.
Yeah. I know you've got a lot of backing from a whole range of local and central government.
Yes, so let's be really clear. I mean, our trust is a facilitator, it's a template, it's some intellectual property, I suppose, that we share with anybody. It's an idea, but it's really people like, particularly Wellington City Council, NZTA, ACC, Auckland Transport, and then we get some other support, people like CAN and Kennett Brothers, a whole range of people. So I just want to be really, really clear. It's these groups that help us help the schools, but also help the schools directly. And just be really clear, the schools do most of the work. They have to raise the money. So we're a facilitator, I suppose, and we help bring some funding to the table. But those stories, there is a lot of stories that come back, and I just want to make it really clear. We talk about low rates of cycling, but in reality, from a children's point of view, there is no lack of demand. We'd be able to find a child who doesn't want to ride a bike. I think it's the same with you, Lydia. Basically, it's lots of children don't have the opportunity or the confidence or the skills, but there is no lack of demand. And I think that's just that mismatch with living in New Zealand at the moment.
Fantastic. I know, Ash, that you work a lot with the confidence and skills side of mountain racing in particular. Could you talk a bit about what WORD tries to get across?
Yeah. So WORD, like you mentioned, is Wellington Off-Road Riding Department, and so we're a non-profit organization that runs after-school programs and holiday camps for kids. And it definitely is about the actual cycling skills, but I think what we're trying to get across is actually developing good riders and good people. And I think that's becoming more and more evident in things like trail building and I think it's just the actual being with other kids on your same abilities and in a really encouraging environment that we're definitely seeing that. And I completely agree with Paul that there's definitely no lack of demand. We've got holiday camps that are selling out in 2 minutes. Like we can't keep up with that kind of demand. It's a great problem to have.
Yeah. Right.
Cool. So the kind of focus that we were talking about is the ability to transform lives. Had either of you maybe a story to tell about a young person?
You go.
Look, it's bizarre. We get lots of feedback from schools and principals about your children changing. And I think the thing with bikes in schools and bike ride is that equaliser. So let's say every child can ride a bike, and with a lot of school activities that's not necessarily so. And also when all the kids are riding, the gap between the best rider and, let's say, the least able rider is very, very small. So I think that's the thing that's really coming back to us, that every child can ride, and when they do ride, there's not a big gap. And I think that's been a great thing within an education environment, so that's the sort of feedback. But at a very individual level, when we did our very first school in Hawke's Bay, or in New Zealand, St Mary's and Hastings, on the opening day, at the end of the event, a husband and wife come up to me and had a child at that school, and they said to us, since their son had started biking, he got confident at biking, and now it's transferred into his homework, which I just, you know, from my point of view, I think that's a very common thing, that children get confident at something, and then they get confident in other things, and I think cycling is something children can get confident at very, very quickly, like within an hour. So I think that can transform a child's life. So.
Yeah, we see that quite a bit as well, like with, and again, we're mountain biking, but still all the same kind of thing. And I've had quite a few parents that have kids that have maybe tried a few other sports and activities and just wasn't always gelling maybe, but I think this is something, you know, riding a bike, it's individual, so they can have those sense of accomplishments, but at the same time you're doing it with other people, and it, like, I didn't quite appreciate, I think, the actual teamwork that does go with riding bikes. And especially with mountain biking that we're seeing is that, you know, people look for those team building skills for their kids to develop, you know, while playing soccer, and the sharing and those relationships that they're building, and probably go into it thinking there's no way I'm gonna get that out of mountain biking, and it's exactly what we're seeing happening. You know, we're seeing that supporting each other as well as in their own personal development. So, yeah, it's pretty special.
So I guess these are ideas that there could be generational change, teaching young people and that'll go on, which is wonderful. Just wondering, Caroline, about I guess, did you find barriers for people that for adults that might have prevented them from cycling?
We didn't look specifically at barriers, but I've certainly read lots of the research around it, and mostly the biggest barrier that people tell you about is perceived safety of cycling, which is really interesting because there is also now research showing that cycling on the road is 500 times safer than actually playing rugby. And we don't think twice about telling people to go and play rugby. So, you know, the perception and the reality aren't actually particularly related to each other. In terms of the barriers, but that's certainly the most common one. Patrick would probably talk more about barriers, but some of the other ones I think are around issues like the weather, and the other big one, I forget, sorry. But most of them, if you actually look into it, like for example the weather, probably it's only going to rain once every 2 weeks on a regular commute to and from work. So again, this week, does tend to happen all at once, and then you have a good, but someone actually went and calculated that for Auckland.
I remember cycling to and from work every single day last year, and sometimes it rained, but it's all part of it.
Mostly I found when I had a year of walking solidly to and from work, which was a 40-minute walk each way, even when it was raining, I'd still rather walk than get on the bus full of people in their wet jumpers. Wet jumpers smell like dog.
Laurie, you talked about businesses on bikes. That being a really exciting part of maybe making a city more interesting. Could you sort of elaborate on that, or the opportunities that it might present?
Thank you. I think, you know, when you talked about transforming cities, and I actually, my answer to that was, well, I haven't really left Wellington a lot recently, and especially not on a bike. And so to answer that, I think, I am seeing Wellington transformed, and although the statistics aren't great, and it's slow progress, and I've been just riding my bike. I don't call myself a cyclist for over 20 years. But what I am seeing, which is making me so excited and incorporates into the brand of Wellington, is the creativity that's coming out on the bike. And I see that Wellington's got a real opportunity there to champion this idea of, you know, the likes of Kelvin and what Bicycle Junction are putting out. For example, with the Fringe, with the cargo bikes, and they've been all signed, graphicked up, and that just makes me so excited. And it just, I think Sophia just left and described Wellington as being sometimes a little bit kooky, and we can do that, and it just brings the smile, and it takes the anger away, and it's just, and actually it's turning out to be a whole lot more what's the word? You can get around a lot faster on a cargo bike than you can in a car anyway. So no, that part of cycling makes me very excited for Wellington.
I think I might see a hand up, if you like. Yeah.
But, just thinking the question from the first thing that Caroline was talking about, which was talking about her survey, she's talking about the establishment of a baseline and that you didn't think that the amount that people were cycling was very much. That's kind of what you were saying. And I was just thinking, in your survey, did you actually include as part of a comparison with other cities, or how do you establish what is a little or a lot? Or,
So we
do you look at other cities and say, oh, they're similar type, population, geography, etc.?
We just looked at the 6 largest cities in New Zealand, and we used the travel survey, which is a routinely collected, wonderful data set, of which New Zealand is blessed with many. And so we compared rates of cycling in adults in the 6 largest cities. And we looked at cycling only for transport, that's what we were interested in. And we also looked at the census and looked at the travel to work question, which they asked on the 2013 census. So I'm comparing it within New Zealand cities. But for example, cycling was, I think, 1.9% of all trips in Hamilton or something like that. And Christchurch, it got up to, I'm sorry, I'm probably not getting the figures quite right, but it was maybe 6 or 7%. So it was substantially higher than Hamilton. Never live in Hamilton, anyone. It's got even though Hamilton has officially the most cycle lanes in the country, apparently.
I went there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
There's great cycle lanes there.
So that was where the comparison was within New Zealand.
I can't think of a good way to segue into this, but something that I read from your excellent body of work was about the gender split.
Oh yeah, that's fascinating. We're like the reverse of what the actual gender and cycling thing is going on here. It is 3/4 men and 1/4 women that cycle for transport. Yeah.
Yeah. So perhaps just broadly, with maybe some ideas that could activate more women to choose to cycle from our ladies on the panel.
I'm in.
Yeah.
So,
What do you
so I had the pleasure, a friend and I started Revolve, which is a women's cycling club here in Wellington, and that was 7 years ago. I'm looking at my other old committee member, not old in age, but old in time. About 7 years ago, and I agree with Laurie. We've seen a massive increase in women cycling. Like I noticed it personally. I've lived in Wellington now for 10 years, and I absolutely notice more women on the road and on the trails, for sure. And I think, you ask about barriers, and it's probably a lot of what all of the audience has heard before. Part of it's the perceived safety. Absolutely, that's one of the factors. But I also think that there's time and the society pressures that are on women for the jobs that we have in our family life. The amount of women that we have heard say, oh, I would love to go for a ride with Revolve, but I'm just not sure if I can do it. And the emails that I would get weekly saying from people, hey, I just heard about Revolve, I'd like to come along, but I'm not sure if I'm good enough. And that was the email. And I think my heart hurt a little bit each time. It was like, come on, ladies, all you gotta do is get there. And so I think we're still trying to get through that confidence barrier, and that's it's a massive issue. But I think the more we're seeing role models, male and female, that are out there showing that women are riding, and I think I'm rambling here, but really I think that's part of it is the role modeling.
Do you think, Laurie, you could expand on that idea of getting there?
Yep, our problem is that we don't have pink cycle lanes, and Auckland's got one. And if we had pink ones, we would have girls on the road. It's that simple. But yeah, I'm going to bring the style aspect into it, and I think there's a statistic somewhere that boys have a different thing about the bike for us girls, like the accessories and the puppy on the back and and I've seen some great woman role models with that, you know, with the speakers and the stereo and cruising along, and so women give out a different feeling on a bike, mostly, not all, and so yeah, role modelling, seeing that in action really helps someone else to get encouraged and enthused. But yeah, if we had pink cycle lanes, I don't think you'd be able to stop them.
Paul, you quickly mentioned about equal and regular access for all children, and that includes different abilities.
And special needs, yeah, absolutely. So the Halberg Foundation are very much about children with special needs and providing bicycle funding for special bicycles. So yeah, we've seen a whole range of. I mean, there's a school in Paurua where there was a child who was blind, couldn't see, and I had no idea what they were going to do. But they put her on the back of a tandem, and I would have never have thought of that. With the other children with physical disabilities, there is bikes that can do. So it is, when we say all children, we mean all children. And I've yet to hear of any child at any school that bikes in school where a child's missed out on riding. I mean, it may need a special bike or a little bit of extra help, but as I say, every child can have the ability to ride, and they will want to ride too. That's the other thing.
I was thinking, I guess, about regular and equal access to something like cycling, and then the idea of transforming cities. And perhaps often when we think about a city, we just think about people within our own ethnic class or social class, but there's maybe hinted in the film that idea that the bikes are very cheap to use and easy to get around. We sort of looked a little at the
and I've done other work on it subsequently.
Yeah.
And cycling currently in New Zealand is the preserve of rich white men, essentially. It doesn't need to be that way if you put in the right infrastructure and the right incentives and that sort of thing. You can start to address that. But I think it's something we need to be quite careful about, that we don't just put in.
So do you know why the demographic that has been attractive to the activity? Like, is it
that's a reasonably common finding in low prevalence of cycling countries.
Yeah.
So countries where lots of people cycle, you don't quite see the same pattern, although even in places like the Netherlands and stuff like that, particularly ethnic minorities are often not well represented in cyclists. But it's not, you don't see that pattern of rich white men. You see it much more equal gender split and socioeconomic. So I suspect it's something to do with just the fact we have quite low rates, and that's sort of how it works at that point for whatever reason, to do with lycra or aggression on bikes, you know.
Which I find a real shame. I often, as a lifetime cyclist, think quite smugly, I've never paid for parking. You know, a bike is free to fuel, just jump on and off.
I think there's other issues though. If you think about how people work, if you have to work 2 jobs in their shift work and they are in different places and they're really low paid and you're juggling kids, biking, and you have to live in Cannons Creek and you work in Lower Hutt or something, biking is not really an option. So there are a whole lot of other structural barriers.
Thanks for spelling that out.
Just while we're there though, but I think we've got some exciting projects to push past that in Wellington at the moment. Is it Rebicycle?
Yep.
With the Helicart, with the getting old bikes and doing them up for refugee families, which I think would be amazing. But also a common unity project out in Lower Hutt. They had one of their first employees was a bicycle mechanic to get bikes to the kids and families, that families could just come and borrow them like a bike library during the weekend. It was amazing.
We spent a few weeks ago. There was on International Women's Day. We had a link between Wellington Refugee Centre, I believe it's called, and with Revolve Cycling and Rebicycle as well. And it was a fantastic initiative. And Hugh from the council was super helpful in that too. And essentially it was a day the council put on buses for these women. It was during the week, and women came to Karori Park, and the local bike shop had bikes, and Helika with Rebicycle was there. And we spent the morning, and with 30 women, 20 of them had never been on a bicycle before, because they're from countries where that's not an option. It's not something they're allowed to do, whether that's socially allowed to do or actually by law. And it was amazing to see that all of those women within 2 hours were riding bikes.
Wow.
You know, and I think, Paul, you know, it's having access to a bike, and you know, it's the access to a bike, and then it's the skills to be able to do it. And it was really, you know, you talk about things that are happening, like really great things in Wellington. I think we're really onto something here. Things are starting, the pieces are starting to all come together. I think people are working in silos and have been for a while, but it is really starting to gel together with the providers and the skills and the tracks and the schools, and I think we're getting there. I know it's it's slow, but it feels like we're really heading in the right direction.
The only way is up.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, right?
Yeah.
You're just talking about the refugee community. As part of the festival, we have a short film playing, Mama Agatha, about a Dutch woman who teaches these skills to refugees. That's screening. Diane?
Screening before doing cycles and before running from the ocean.
Okay, thanks.
Great.
And just thinking about overseas, you lived in Europe for some time before, and how did you see cycle use in cities maybe compared to New Zealand?
Completely different. So I lived and worked in Wellington, and then I relocated to Amsterdam and was there for 10 years. And during that 10 years I worked, we had 2 children, they went to Dutch school, so we saw the whole shebang. You just can't compare the two. It's a completely different environment. And you talk about transformed cities. I think it was more a case of Amsterdam as a city transformed us and transformed our way of life. And it just sort of happened slowly over time to the stage where one stage we realised we hadn't used the car for 5 weeks, and it just sat, we didn't need it, and we gave it back to the bank. And that was great. They gave us money in return, but we just didn't need a bike. And it was just that bike was just everything. Bike to school for the kids, bike to work. The night my son was born, I biked to the hospital in the snow to be there. It was just every part of your life. If I look back at all the memories, it was just biking everywhere. And it got to the stage we just didn't realise it was just the way you did it in Amsterdam, and that was the beauty of it, that it transformed your life, and you didn't realise it was transforming your life. And that was brilliant. But also the other thing is it's point to point. That's the other thing. You walk out your apartment, you get on your bike, and you can go right to the door of the cinema. We go right to the door of the supermarket, or your where I work was a large bank, and there was literally thousands of bikes parked underneath this area in the World Trade Centre. So it transformed me, but compared to Wellington or any New Zealand city, it is completely different. But that doesn't mean we can't aspire to that and move towards that. But it is a different environment. But just as an aside, I did see a little bit of London. So London from 15 years ago to London now, I think if anybody who's been back to London who lived there in the 90s, the bike has transformed London. And if you think you can do it in London, we should be able to do it here in Wellington.
I'm not good at statistics at all, but I can remember this one that came through work today to help me tonight, which was apparently 2 cars to 1 bicycle in London at the moment. I'd like to see it the other way around.
Yeah.
You mentioned in Amsterdam, what would you say Wellington needs to do to have that level of cycling? For example, you know, is it realistic that we
I don't know if it's realistic to get that level, but I do think it is slower speeds. It's having more parts of the main city that don't necessarily have cars or shared spaces. I think it's just that normalisation. And of all the cities in New Zealand I can think of, Wellington's probably got one of the best opportunities to do that.
I think it's realistic.
Yeah, I think it is. The thing what Wellington's got,
it's realistic.
I think the thing that Wellington's got over any other city in New Zealand is density of population. And I think since you've had all this inner city living, place live in Thornton. There's this arc of people that do live, in my understanding, something like 18,000 people who live in central Wellington now with apartments, and that wasn't like that 15 years ago. So I just think it's that normalisation. I think it is heading that way. I really do.
Great. Just thinking about the ability to transform lives. You do a lot of study with health in particular. Cycling must be a big part of that.
Well, it's the hot area for research at the moment. There's heaps and heaps of research in that area. It's all kind of obvious stuff though, if you know what I mean. Like cycling reduces body mass index and obesity, it prevents diabetes, it makes people more physically active, it makes them less depressed and less anxious. You know, it's all quite good. Yeah. Sure. It's all good stuff. It might increase injuries slightly, but probably not actually that much. That would be the only con.
Keeping people active, actually out on the trails. And we have sort of, as we think about cycling to work and things, but do you see mountain biking and recreational cycling as a sort of a thrust for the social change?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's, we can look at people's different entry points into riding bikes for transport, and we're absolutely seeing kids either wanting, because they've been mountain biking, now all of a sudden they want to ride to school, or they'd like to ride their bike, from school to Word after school, and then all of a sudden these massive barriers are popping up. It usually starts with the parents with the, feeling of anxiousness and not knowing if there's a safe route to be able to actually bike from school to their after-school program of choice. Or it's, I think it definitely comes from the parents' anxiousness about that as a barrier. But the want is there, and we keep talking about that. That kids are wanting to now ride, and we're looking at then seeing parents, and this was something that I probably didn't quite anticipate. That the kids are having a great time riding their bike, and all of a sudden, I'm sure you see this too. All of a sudden, parents that haven't ridden since they were a kid have now seen, this is actually an activity we can do as a family, and then things are starting to all fall into place, that now they've got their bike back going, and maybe now I can ride to work. And I think we just see mountain biking as also an entry point to riding for transport. Yeah.
Great to hear. Laurie, I've sort of read studies about how the having cycleways alongside roads actually leading to an increase in retail spending at those stores, even at the expense of, say, removing a car park. Do you know any anecdotes?
Heresy. I think we need to talk to Joe about it. Joe from Bikes Welcome. Bikes Welcome. You must have some evidence.
From overseas, it is just so great for businesses to have that cycle trail there, because someone who's going past on a bike can smell the coffee. They can see the signs, what cake is on special today. They can admire the window display. So businesses are paying a lot of money for footfall and display area and not getting the benefit from it when people are in cars. So there's a lot of benefit to businesses. The challenge is trying to communicate that when their psyche is cars. That's what they know, and they don't actually think that their customers ride bikes. Their image of someone who rides a bike is lycra and mud sweaters. So we need to put our hands up and go, I'm just a normal person who rides a bike and spends money.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Joe's about to launch Bikes Welcome, and so really getting businesses to put a sticker on their window to say that we really welcome cyclists. And to be honest, one of the most offensive things I've seen was down in Island Bay, and I shouldn't maybe bring it up, with a spike sign with a red line through it. And I can just, that really, it was like, really? Why would you do that? But yes, so great to see the opposite coming through.
That's great to hear. Good deferral. I might just have one sort of final question, and we'll take a few from the audience. There's sort of the question about the idea of right on time. The question about how could we get Wellington to look like Amsterdam, and maybe if we just imagine that we were all cabinet members and we had the power to make those changes happen. If I could just go through, what would be the changes with sort of some blue sky thinking that would make cycling a tool to transform lives and cities and environments?
Well, I'd start at the top and we'd have a new Transport Act. I've just been writing a submission on the government policy statement on transport funding for the next 10 years, and it's really grim.
Wow.
So I think we need to stop the 1950s style thinking of how we fund and organise our transport systems and move into the 21st century.
We get to the core of that.
Yeah, and we need to focus on decarbonising our transport sector, which involves transitioning to bikes and walking and public transport, and we need to fund accordingly. So that's my very high level wish list, which will no doubt be ignored.
Mine's similar, but bottom up. I think we should take the money that we're going to pump into creating 2 new tunnels and give grants out similar to the home insulation scheme, grants out to people to buy electric bikes, because I think they are something else. And anyone with a barrier is going to find it a lot easier, and pump them into the eastern suburbs, and then we'll see if we need the tunnel or not.
I would love to see more people on bikes in the media, and I think that's so that's probably also I'd like to see more women in the media in general, in the sports section if anyone's listening. But no, really, I'd like to see more people on bikes in the media, and I think Paul touched on this about normalizing it. Is that we're trying to create a behavior change, and we need to be seeing those images. People need those images in their daily life to actually start to have things resonate, that's a possibility for them, that they could be that person that's going to the shops and riding their bike to school.
Well, I agree with all those things, but as well as that, it is that normalisation of cycling, and obviously with bikes in schools, we're very much focused on the children, because we believe if you get the children biking, it will just move up, and I think we've had many years of children not biking, and we're now seeing one of the effects of that is they go into adulthood and they don't know how to ride a bike. And I do think it's role models, and one thing we do encourage at the schools is they get some adult bikes and for the teachers to ride. But the scary thing is we've had children who've never seen an adult, particularly female, on a bicycle before, and they just didn't have that in their head that a woman could actually ride a bike. And I thought that was quite scary, that children are growing up and they haven't seen a woman ride a bike, besides say Sarah Walker in a sports environment. So I do think it's infrastructure, and I do think it's sending signals through tax and other things, but I do think it is focusing on the children. But also I think it is cycle skills training for those children as well. So access to opportunity is great, but if they don't have the skills to use it, and I think that's where we're very lucky here in Wellington region with Pedal Ready and the support of Wellington City Council, that we can actually teach these children how to ride a bike. So I think it's a combination of things.
Let's make it happen. Just want to get those ideas going. We maybe have a couple of questions if anyone has any thoughts. Yeah.
How to the personal preference cycles and the Waireka that road further and going around, or cycle trails, but it's purified to cycle in Wellington. Are there groups where you go and learn those skills about how to safely road cycle?
Well, yes, there is. Yeah, so there's 2 places. So one is actually just learning how to ride on the road, and Pedal Ready offers adult cycle skills training. They actually do it once a month. It's called Cycling into the City. Okay. And that's I think it's $20, maybe. It might even be free.
It's free. I'm doing it on Saturday.
There we go. It's fantastic. Yeah, we start at the basics. Yes, it started the basics and work away from basic actual just bike handling, how do my gears work, how do my brakes work, then it's moving on to, you know, signaling, and then taking those skills actually onto the road in a very safe suburban site. But actually getting those, those skills to go from there. And then from there, you can head into, there's quite a few group rides around. So yeah, Revolve Cycling is a fantastic place to start for the ladies. And they do road cycling and mountain biking as well. Yeah, enjoy.
Can I just say, there's 250,000 people ride bikes every day in New Zealand, and most of them have very few problems. So it's true what you say about the media is that, you know, the dramatic stories in the paper, but the vast majority of people are not too big a deal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One for Caroline. You mentioned about the health, and they're all very obvious benefits at the moment in terms of body mass index and that sort of thing. Have they started to talk at a policy level, at least, about carbon emissions and oxygen quality and that kind of thing, or not? No.
No, there's a large blind spot in this country when we talking about carbon emissions. Other people in other countries talk about them. And are you asking whether there's research showing that people moving to cycling reduces carbon emissions?
I'm wondering if the people that are making the decisions have realised that exists.
I think that they do. I think they do actually, but I think that they just choose not to do it. We have in fact we know that cycling reduces carbon emissions because we have a great study that was done in New Plymouth and Hastings, where they put in cycling infrastructure in 2011, and it's been the people of those areas have been followed up over time, and the rates of active transport went up about 30%, and carbon emissions went down somewhere between 1% and 2%, which is a small amount, but is about what you'd expect for the level, how much people drive in local areas, which is the only kind of journeys that walking and cycling trips will replace cars for. So we know that it works. We know that it works in New Zealand. We just choose not to do anything about it at this point, which is a shame.
Here's a question to you, David. Just tell us a story from the road. I know you've been on the road. Just something that crops up.
Here's a great story.
Surprised you.
I cycled all around the country, 5,500 kilometres. Probably the most memorable one was I was cycling from Gisborne to Wairoa in one day, which is a very long way. But I planned the trip and I had to do it. And it's very hilly. It's about 100 kilometres across. And this is one particular hill where it says, very steep hill, watch out, check your brakes now. And it was very steep. And so I zoomed down, and it was the fastest I went in the whole trip. And we hit 70 kilometres an hour, holding on for dear life. And there was a car behind me. I could sort of tell they're just easing off, just giving me some space, which was nice. And once we got onto the flat, they sort of zoomed past and tooted and waved. And I'm like, yeah, whoa, way to go. And then we both stopped at Moriri, just at the bottom of the hill to get an ice cream. And this lady hopped out of the car and she ran across the road. She said, oh, wait, hey, stop, guy, whoa. That was crazy. Like, man, you went so fast. That was so cool. Anyway, I'm a beekeeper. Here's a jar of honey. Thank you so much. We might draw it to a close. Thanks a lot for coming, everyone, and listening.
I think we really have to, I'm sorry, I'm going to do this, Patrick, are you ready? We have to commend Cycle Aware Wellington for really giving us an infrastructure or a base or a platform which we've all been able to connect through and share these stories, and also just pull all the positive groups in Wellington together. So yeah, I think it's really important that without those communities or without that core person there, we wouldn't maybe have the uptake in Wellington that we have. So yeah.
And perhaps also just a special mention for tonight and the Bicycle Film Festival is to Wellington City Council.
Yes.
A great amount of funding through the Communities on Bikes program. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
So thanks everyone. Everyone's doing great things.